So, Odin Simcha, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. It is Friday, it's Erev Shabbos, Erev Yantif. Y'all have 2 days. We have one packed day tomorrow. It's one of the weird days in Eretz Yisrael, trying to pack everything into one day. It's kind of like Shavuos. We try to pack everything into one day. Um, So tomorrow we have Geshem, there's Yiskar, there's Hakafos, there's the Aliyos. It's a long day. Starts off pretty happy, then we flip gears a bit, go a little bit sadder, more serious as we get into Geshem. So it's an interesting day. It's interesting there, just row. We just finished Chalmud, went away a couple days up north with the family, been to Hoshaya. I don't know if people have been there. Near Nazareth, I'm sure a lot of people have been there. So right near Nazareth, where Jesus lived, is Hoshaya, small Dati community, and had a little simmer, Airbnb, and the whole operation. And I saw Shemin Chamar one day, very interesting piece in the Sefer Todah that has a really interesting twist as far as Sukkot. So we know Sukkot rolls around, and one of the lessons is to be happy. We know it's Chag Asaf, with the olden days, the farmers, agricultural cycles. This time everyone gathers, so everyone's the most happy this time of year because all the work that you put in the whole year, planting and the watering, all that operation, finally you get to bring it inside, and everyone's simcha. It's a great time of the year. Everyone starts to have stuff in their house and fantastic stuff. And we know that's the lesson of Sukkot. Sukkot is, even with all the stuff you have to remember it's from Hashem. So we leave our homes, leave our houses, and we go into Dir Sarai, and it's to remind the rich person that, listen, it's not your strength really. The fact that stuff grows is from Hashem. And that's the lesson of Sukkot. Even though you have the stuff that's filled, you're supposed to be happy, that what Hashem gave you all these things. You have to remind these things. You have to be reminded of these things. So we leave the home and go to Dir Sarai, and you look at the schach, and you remind yourself that even in the fancy houses right next door, Hashem protects us in the sukkah for 7 days, so to the whole year. Really, everything's from Hashem, and that's fantastic. And we all know that part. Fantastic. But there's an interesting twist to this, which I never really saw until a couple days ago. There's also the poor person. What do you mean? Well, in the middle of everyone having a good time and going up to Six Flags and going to Florida and going upstate and going to Connecticut, all these places, you've got somebody. Really? We've got someone in the house, in the car. You've got the poor people. What do you mean? Well, you're having a great time. What the poor people? They're having a sucky time. So too, when you post stuff on Facebook and you're on all these exotic places, a lot of people are looking at this and say, you know what? We're jealous. We don't have these things. And the poor person, this is the worst time of year. You never thought about that. We think about ourselves really in this bubble that, we're making all this money, we get bonuses and we get promotions, all these things. We only give two thoughts to people that don't have these things. And for the poor people that really worked very hard, even harder, this year rolls around and everyone's gathering stuff out of the fields and filling up their homes, and they have nothing. They have nothing. And they have to now face the fact that they're now going up against the season that they have nothing. They're supposed to be well this time of year. They're supposed to have their stuff. This is the time to gather it in. And poor people have nothing. And they're depressed. People are depressed. And Rav Shashal Hirsch says this is actually a promise to the poor people. The poor people are supposed to sit in a sukkah and not be depressed. Just like we look in a sukkah and we're happy. We say, don't get so happy for trusting Hashem. The poor person's in a sukkah and is miserable. And the poor person's the lesson is, Hashem took care of the people in Mitzrayim. The people left Mitzrayim. They had no food. They really had no mitzvos. They had nothing going for them. Hashem provided them for 40 years. They didn't have to do anything. Hashem took care of them. And just like Hashem took care of the people leaving Mitzrayim and put them in sukkos, and they had water and the mun they were provided for, Hashem will take care of you through these things. So it's actually a promise to the poor person, and a petachon, the extra hope, and not to give up hope. You should always, don't give up hope. Always trust in Hashem. The rich person should trust in Hashem, and the poor person trust in Hashem as well. This is the kind of lesson that I saw at Frashval Hirsch. The other lesson is really simcha. Also Ephraim talks about there's the four against the four. So there's the Levi, the Yasa, Manan, the Ger, and your four. Ata, Bincha, Bitecha, Masacha, your four, your relatives, and the four people that are Hashem's relatives, really. And if you take care of Hashem's four, Hashem take care of your four. We kind of think, simcha is dependent on what I do for my kids and my family. We go to Florida, we'll be b'simcha. Oh, we go away for sukkahs, we'll go here, we'll be b'simcha. And really, it's not the case. It's not necessarily the case. If Hashem, can make you wealthy and not have simcha in your family. If you're working too hard, there's no simcha because you can't go on and enjoy it. Or if you're working too hard, you don't have this kesher with your children. So just because you're doing well and you can buy things doesn't necessarily translate into simcha. True simcha is a leiv tov and ayin tov, is seeing the good in situations, and leiv tov, reaching out to other people. And there's a promise from Hashem. You take care of my four, Hashem take care of your four. We had this in the Rambam Yomi a couple days ago. Is the Chag, Simchas Chag isn't just filling up your stomach and spending money. And if you don't spend money helping out the poor people, then you're just filling up your stomach. There's no simcha in that. The Chassidish Sfarim talk about how the Rebbes would go out and have a poor person every day of Shavuos. And even some would have 7 Keneged Shpizin. Just to have one guest, a special guest, the Shpizin, every day of Sukkot. You should have a person, an invited person, every day of Sukkot. And who amongst us does this? Once we have guests, they're just as wealthy as us, or they have also. Do we really go out and find people that don't have a sukkah, people don't have meals, people don't really have a family? Do we do that? Maybe we do. Maybe we should do it more. And perhaps that's the haftacha. That's maybe the promise of simcha. If you want to have a good and happy year, if you want to grab this lesson from this sukkah to the whole year, as the Nesiv Shalom says, it's kufas, it's kifas. You want to grab something from the Chag to the year, is this lesson of simcha. And just like simcha on Chag, we're supposed to invite people, we're supposed to kind of care about the people to make the simcha and the Chag happy for them. If we do this, then maybe we'll grab the simcha for ourselves this coming up year. And hopefully we'll have a great Simchas Torah. We'll enjoy dancing the Torah and being simcha, being close to Hashem, being close with our chaverim, our charusas. Unlike Shavuos where we just got the Torah, Simchas Torah is a little bit different. Simchas Torah is we actually experience the Torah and we're happy with now when we know what's in the Torah. By Shavuos, they accept the Torah, we didn't know what was in it. But Simchas Torah, they get to understand the Torah, they appreciate the Torah, and hopefully we appreciate this. We can dance around the Torah and think about the Torah we learned over the year, who we learned with, who we learned from, what we're going to learn this next year, and hopefully we grab some of the lessons that we got from the past, from Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkos, and we apply these lessons, and we hopefully grow this coming up year. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach.